Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the After 90 Talk. I'm your host, Ivan Garcia. I'm here with my nephew, Andrew. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Glad to have you back here
Yeah, thank you, man.
one more time.
It feels nice to be back here again, talking about
Yeah,
some football.
yes, it's been almost a week since we last recorded. Unfortunately, our last videos, the audio was kind of messed up. The show is a work in progress, so want to apologize for that, right? And additionally, we did record 2 episodes, but had more problems with our recording equipment, and we were just not able to publish those videos. Other than that, we're just as excited to continue to record the show. Andrew, you're doing a great job with the editing.
Thank you.
And then just your communication overall, man. Really, really proud of you. For the way that I guess that the what you're bringing to the show, and how we continue to improve. So that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, thank you too. I mean, you brought all this equipment. You built this table, so I mean, it's like you're doing as much as I am. So I'm just here to help out.
Dude, it's such a great experience, man.
Yeah.
On this episode, we want to talk about the Champions League. It's the top European competition out currently, and we want to just bring you the results of the midweek games. Currently, it's in the round of 16. It's a two-leg contest currently between these clubs. It's the top competition in Europe. Two legs, meaning they play away on the first game. One team hosts the match, and then on the second leg they'll visit the next host city, the next club. So we're gonna want to get right into that action, right?
Yeah.
The first game of the round was the Club Brugge game versus Aston Villa. Very entertaining match. Mm-hmm. Very good match. Aston Villa took the victory. It was kind of a heartbreak for Club Brugge. They played pretty well, but then just they went down right initially, mm-hmm. and with a great goal from Bailey. Left footer, right away from the goalkeeper, like down low. But anyway, they looked good, right? At the beginning, Aston Villa did, and then for some reason they kind of like took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit and allowed Bruges to get into the game, and they gave them some possession, almost like Aston Villa wanted to play in a counter attack kind of game plan, mm-hmm. right? But credit to Club Brugge. They are a good team. They had a lot of chances. Emi Martinez had some great saves.
Yeah.
And then, just at the end of the match, is an own goal that gave Aston Villa the lead back, right? At the end of the match, like in the 80-something minute. And then
a penalty.
With Marco Asensio. The Spanish ex-Real Madrid loanee, mm-hmm. With the great penalty. He's a confident player, and this is what they brought him for, right? So I don't know. In my opinion, Aston Villa just had too much firepower, too much star power for this Club Brugge, right?
Yeah.
As they get down into these rounds of the Champions League, the teams are just they're clinical.
Yeah, I mean, it was very unlucky for Bruges. They are a pretty, they don't have teams they don't have players in that team who are like significantly better, but I think that what makes them as good as a team to pretty much put up a fight in this competition is that they're a good unit, a good team. I thought Mignolet, their goalkeeper, was excellent. I think he had a decent performance.
Yeah, he kept them in it.
Yeah, he definitely kept them in it. There's just too much star power in that Aston Villa team to not really get a win, especially away at Bruges. Unlucky for Bruges. I thought that. I feel like as Aston Villa weren't really taking the game by the hand. I think after that first goal that they scored, they kind of, like you said, they took the pedal off the gas and.
Personally, I was questioning Unai Emery's decision, like mm-hmm. to kind of play, in that take that role as just sitting back and let Club Brugge come at you and defend that, and then counterattack. I mean, it does make a bit of sense because of the just the abilities of their players.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that Aston Villa, they have the ability also to dominate possession and just stay on top of this Club Rouge side. It just it didn't make sense to me. But then also in realizing that they have competition on Saturday, and they got to reserve some, I guess, of the tank. I don't know. I guess kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Aston Villa, you want to definitely push for Champions League again, or at least a European competition. They're obviously not. I feel like last season they were on fire. They were completely a very dominant, team that was surprised. Everyone was surprised that they had made the Champions League for how long? It's been like 60 years, and they has made it. So, but yeah, I think it's good that they kind of expect themselves to be at a high standard and be like, obviously we see Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth pushing for European football. We have to be on top of that. We have that. We've been in this situation before, so
sure.
We got to make it.
And they're currently not in the European or at least Champions League spot. So they in England. So that could have to do with the way that United Emery set up his game plan.
Yeah, I mean, and again, also, this isn't like I think the performance, the if you look at this game as on hand, on paper, you would probably think that Aston Villa, looked dangerous, but I mean, it was two unlucky plays for Aston Villa, and obviously the penalty, and then that own goal. So I mean, if I were Bruges, I would still keep my head in the game. I wouldn't be too. I wouldn't be too nervous to head into Aston Villa's home. Obviously playing away is going to be really difficult, but I mean, again, you only lost because of an error from a defender, which was very unlucky, and then obviously a penalty in my opinion, also very lucky or unlucky. But yeah, I mean, if I were Bruges, just go into that game thinking that you can get something out of it, and hopefully, maybe do a little like a surprise, another surprise team to beat a big, huge team from England.
It would definitely be a shocking result to see Club Bruges, take the leg over Aston Villa,
and especially next week. And at away
and away exactly after this result. I think Aston Villa has personally. I think they have it in the bag just because of what this means.
They should have it.
This is why we watch the game, right? The return leg for this match will be again at Aston Villa in England on Wednesday, March 12th. Mm-hmm. The next game that we want to touch on is the Clásico Madrileño, Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. Another great match, another very interesting match. Real Madrid taking the lead early on with Rodrigo's incredible goal, right? Fantastic left-footed finish from coming in from the right-hand side of the pitch towards the center, and then just striking it beautifully with the left. Mm-hmm. I think Real Madrid should have had a second opportunity at goal with a penalty that wasn't called. That's how I saw it. I think the ref just didn't want to call it in that time. It was like too early for him to give kind of like that push to Madrid. He had his arms around him. We can it's part of the game, right, to have these discussions and differences in opinion, but that's how I saw it. And then and Real Madrid, they could have taken the lead. Then they looked really hot in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. Like they were just on top of Atletico for like the first 20 minutes, maybe. And then Atletico kind of just started, winning back possession and keeping the ball, and then their star Julian Alvarez with another great play in the match, right? Just showing his
brilliance,
guts,
his brilliance,
brilliance for sure, and his guts, the way that Argentinians play with all the garra that they put into the game, like not falling down with the, kind of it could have been a foul from the defender, but he just kept pressing to make himself an opportunity to shoot, and then when he did shoot it, it was just a great shot into almost the corner away from freaking the giant goalkeeper Courtois.
Dude,
it was awesome.
I mean, as a striker, that as a team that you need a striker, you need a player like Willian who creates something out of nothing. I mean, dude, not only was it a crazy way to score, but it was against Courtois. He's like one of the tallest fucking goalkeepers in the world, so it's not easy to finish like that. And like you said, to have the guts like that to to be away at the Bernabeu and score that fucking outrageous goal was crazy, you know? And yeah, I mean, again, we can keep talking that this isn't really the best Madrid, but when they play Champions League, they know how to fucking do it in a Champions League night, you know? And yeah, they ended up winning. A beautiful goal by Brahim Diaz. He like injured himself on the way of the goal. He had like rolled his ankle. And he had dropped Jose, like Maria Jimenez, which is fucking crazy. He cuts in on the wide and just finishes it, man, dude.
Yeah. Fucking great play. One of the plays for like just the posterity, I guess. To save for this Clásico Madrileños, another just putting Jose Maria Jimenez on his ass.
Yeah, man.
The Uruguayan.
Dude, it was so nice. It was so nice. I think all three goals were just fucking stunners. I mean,
quality.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk. I was gonna say that first goal Rodrigo scored. It was amazing. But I thought that pass that Valverde did was beautiful, man. It was inch perfect, right on Rodrigo, perfectly placed. Then he does his own job, man, and it was fucking crazy. But yeah, shout out, dude. Rodrigo was giving Gavi Galan a hard time on that right wing, man. Ever since both wingers, Vinicius and Rodrigo came to Madrid, I saw Vinicius' potential, but I think what scared me more was Rodrigo, because I feel like he can carry the ball more, and this is what he did this whole game, and he was about to win a penalty 2-0 in the first 10-15 minutes from Madrid.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, it would have been a different match.
Yeah, and I mean that penalty. I don't know. I think it sucks that it's early to call a penalty for, which I think sucks, because I mean I think in general, if it's a foul, it's a foul. You know, if it's whatever,
no minute,
if it's contact, whatever minute, it deserves a foul. It deserves a call. But what I saw, I don't know. I personally didn't see too much of it. I think they were both grabbing each other. I think Gavi Galan was I think he was very lucky not for that review to be on VAR, because I did see him like grabbing his arm. I did see Rodrigo, though. I think he could have had the chance to pull the arm away, but I think he just kept it there to sell the penalty.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Madrid got the win. I mean, at home, what you expect them to do at a Champions League match like this, and yeah, it was just a crazy game, man. And I hope to see more and better at the next match, dude. And it's gonna be at home, which is crazy because Atletico have not lost a single home game this season, so. They should have faith. They should have faith in going into the next leg.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, in my opinion as well, the match is wide open, right?
Yeah.
So the first half ended with a 1-1 tie, and then the game ended 2-1 with the Brahim Diaz goal that we talked about.
Yeah.
And to that point, the leg's wide open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Atletico Madrid is strong at home. They're very strong at home. I didn't know that they had not lost at home this season in La Liga, but it's obviously a fortress for them. So I should look for them to use it right when they host their neighbors, Real Madrid. And again, the tie is wide open. It can easily go into extra time and then go down to penalties with the score line just being a marginal victory for Real Madrid. There's just the one goal in it, and Atletico having the away goal as well.
Yeah.
Wide open. So very, it's gonna be a great matchup. We expect it to go, at least the full 90 minutes.
Dude, and the fucking atmosphere is gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting for, man. The atmosphere in that place is gonna be fucking crazy.
Real Madrid has a lot of or not just Real Madrid, excuse me, but this Real Madrid Clásico, or this Clásico Madrileño, has a lot of South American players. Federico Valverde, the Brazilians, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo.
Jimenez, you got Jimenez, Molina, De Paul,
Julian Alvarez,
Samolino. Yeah, so this is the only
Simeone.
And Simeone and his son as well playing in the game as well. So yeah, you got a lot of South American players here in the Madrids.
I want to highlight Federico Valverde. Currently, he's just in great form. The Uruguayan, world star, really. Yeah. Also the captain for the Real Madrid. Real Madrid, obviously the historic, best club in the game. Just historically, the most trophies out of anybody. The most trophies that matter, I guess.
Yeah.
And then just the Uruguayan not playing in his natural position. He's taking on
As right back right
a
now.
right back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just because the team needs it, and he's just doing a great job. Not just to fill in the spot, but he's shining in it.
Yeah, I mean he's the captain for Madrid for a reason, dude.
Yeah.
This guy
Phenomenal.
play any position. You want to make goalkeeper. Fuck it. If Courtois gets injured, you can put him in there as well. He'll probably put in a good performance.
Yeah. So just if you're again, we are Latin American, so we want to highlight that
Americas,
the Americas and the Sudamericanos and Americans playing in all these top competitions.
Yeah.
Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no more Mexicans left other than Santi. Stefano Carrillo was final, but he wasn't in. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But that, if I'm not mistaken, there's no more.
Well, there is Richie Ledesma, but he's like uncertain if he's gonna play for Mexico or USA. I mean, I've heard talks that Aguirre wants him to play.
What does he play for? Club
PSV. But it looks like he's out. He's gonna be soon out already.
So anyway, back to the Clásico Madrileño and the champions. The return leg for that is also on Wednesday, the 12th. So just mark your calendars, people. The next match of the Champions League round, the first leg, PSV versus Arsenal. As Andrew mentioned, PSV practically out. They lost 1-7 versus Arsenal in their own home, and then it does almost mean elimination for them, because now they have to travel to London and play a very strong Arsenal team, number 2 in the English Premier League. And they looked very dominant. I mean, they were dominant. The scoreline says so. It's actually the first time any team has scored 7 goals in the Champions League knockout stages. So it's the historic scoreline there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What about Barcelona 8-2?
Was that the round of 16?
No, not round of 16. I think that was like. Possibly could have been around the 16th.
That's what I'm.
Or quarterfinals.
We'll look into it.
Yeah, okay.
And edit that into the video,
right there.
Right or wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Bamba el que.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, back to the match. Arsenal. I mean, what can we say, right? On PSV, they kind of did it to themselves in a lot of these goals, right? A lot of mistakes. From them, and they just weren't ready.
Yeah, kind of weird defending for them. It was just weird defending for them. Ethan Nwaneri actually got a goal. I don't know if it's his first Champions League goal, but I think he scored one again the last Champions League match they had. But I mean, he keeps shining. I mean, he's only fucking 17 years old, playing away against obviously not the best PSV team, but still a team in the Champions League. Who are known to be at a position like that. But yeah, I mean, there's so many goal scorers this match. You had Martin Odegaard, Ethan Nwaneri, you had Calafiori scoring a goal. Even though we didn't have a striker, Mikel Moreno scored a goal. So, it's a good match for Arsenal. I hope I think the league is over. But sticking to the Champions League, I hope this match gives us confidence to keep going. But it's really hard to really have that when we hope. We're probably going to play against teams like Madrid or Bayern Munich, who have way more star power than PSV. But yeah, I mean, it was a dominant performance from them, from Arsenal. Something that keeps worrying me, though, that we've said and have mentioned a lot of the times, is Miles Lewis-Kelly. He could have possibly got another red card for another foul that was going to happen. And yeah, he was forgiven. It's just worrying, man. I think he has the quality to play, but it's just the tackles, the situations he's in, half the time,
Yes, no, absolutely. It is one of the points I wanted to make. Right, he did get into foul trouble early on with the yellow card, and then he was substituted in the first half because he could have had another yellow card, and it is a bit alarming. You want to say he's young and he's gonna have that opportunity to learn. I think it was a great decision by Arteta to substitute him out and bring Calafiori in, and then it worked out for him too, because Calafiori was involved in the goals with an assist and a score. But back to Miles Lewis-Kelly, again, I don't think it's too alarming, but he definitely needs to work on his decision making.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to learn in the game.
He's gonna be. It kind of reminds me of like a younger Trent. He amazing ability on the ball. He's one of the best right backs where he can even play midfield. Same thing with Louis Mouskeli. He's actually a midfielder, but he's putting in a shift at left back. But it's that defensive awareness and that defensive ability that kind of scares you when you have him. Obviously this season Trent has been. His defending has been better. So as an Arsenal fan, and I think as every gunner that thinks, they're gonna want to see better defensive ability from Miles Lewis Skelly. So I mean, yeah, and again, he's only 18, 19, so he's gonna learn more and more as he keeps playing. So yeah,
Yes, yeah, I hope so. Right, I hope he has a long career. A lot of youngsters for Arsenal in this match, scoring. Arsenal's one of the historic clubs that produces a lot of young talent in Europe. They put the English players that go on to like a fellow Premier teams. A lot of young talent goes through Arsenal. Just so you guys are aware. And then just the match, the scoreline is important, right? For their confidence, so they can also rotate players and focus more on the English Premier League. That gives them, like 2-3 weeks of not having to worry about Champions League. Because they're practically through. Just on the goal difference here.
Yeah, it'll be disappointing if I don't see.
I highly doubt it. I mean, I doubt PSV will also, put all their starters out and really make an attempt in London to try and overturn this result.
Yeah.
The second leg, the return leg for this, again, it will be in the city of London at the at Emirates Stadium. March 12th.
Did you hear news about the ticket sales? They have not sold like any tickets at all.
The Champions League?
Yeah, well, at least for that match, because I guess everybody assumes that Arsenal's going to go through. There's no point in going to the match, but still, it's like
maybe they'll just open the gates.
It's a Champions League night, man. Go, you have the opportunity to go.
One day,
that sucks, man.
One day.
Fuck it, let's just fly over there next week, man. Get in for free.
Yeah, donate, comment, subscribe. So that you can make Andrew's dreams come true. The next match that we want to get into is the Dortmund-Lille match. Dortmund taking the lead early on with the goal from my twin, Adeyemi.
Okay.
Post his picture on here, Adeyemi. What's up, bruh? Hey, we need you on this show. You know what? We're twins. We need you on this show. Cali, dog. Come to Cali. Then Lille taking the or tying the game early in the second half with the goal from the Hakan Arnar.
I mean, I didn't really. I'm gonna say care, but I didn't really watch the game. I just watched this. I was more focused. I think when that was happening, I think it was when the Feyenoord and Inter Milan were playing, and then I watched the Barcelona versus Benfica game. But I mean, yeah, I was keeping an eye on the scores and stuff. I mean, personally, I think it's a decent match between two teams that are, I think, very underrated this season. I think Lille have been a very surprising team. They beat Madrid, and they have pretty good quality players in their team in general. Obviously, you have Jonathan David, who's actually a North American from Canada. So shout out to Jonathan David. Only like one of the only few North American players in this competition.
In the competition.
Yeah. So I mean, we pray that you make it high. But yeah, I mean, again, I think with Dortmund getting a new manager, hopefully things can change the way they play football. I think under Sahin, it was just very disappointing, very bad defending. I just keep remembering this moment when they played Leverkusen. They got scored on like the first 30 seconds of the fucking game. Horrible defending. But yeah, I just hope Dortmund can relive what they did last season, going to the final and actually having a pretty good performance against Madrid. So I think in general, you just wish for both of these teams to put up a good fight, show some beautiful football,
Yeah, Dortmund needs to find their way, right? They're typically one of the teams that does make it into the later rounds of the competition of the Champions League. They're just not able to finish the job. Lille, like you said, is a good squad.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the best teams in the French league currently. So they had that potential to come and shock you at your home. And Borussia, I don't know, they just weren't able to finish the job. Right? They almost like they have too much confidence.
And it's gonna be
Lille
Sorry.
side.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to go to Lille. I mean, it's in France. I think a bunch of the fans there, the supporters, are fucking crazy as well. So it's going to be tough for Dortmund to go into Lille. But I mean, I think both of these teams should just head into the second match with confidence, with their heads up, and look for a win. You know.
Yeah, the return match for this one is also on March 12th. And the next game that we'll dive into is the Feyenoord against Inter Milan, 2-0 victory for the Milan team, for Inter, the current Italian league leaders. And for Feyenoord, I mean, these stages of the Champions League just get a lot tougher.
Yeah.
In this Inter Milan team is not the AC Milan team, right? AC Milan struggling in the league. Inter is one of the better teams, or it's currently the best team in the Serie A.
Yeah.
So it's just they're almost like shell shocked. Feyenoord, they're just not able to produce. Inter looked very dangerous almost the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, what I saw, at least, I thought the first half it was for Feyenoord. I thought I watched a little bit of the second half. I thought that was where Inter Milan just killed them, just constantly having the ball. But I thought the first 15 to 20 minutes of that Feyenoord game, I felt like Feyenoord were waiting for Milan to make mistakes, and they wanted to absorb the pressure. Anytime that I saw a lot of moments where Milan would lose the ball on the touchline, which I thought was very surprising because not only is there football, but the way that they play the football is amazing, and they hardly ever lose the ball just like that. And I saw moments of that, and I thought, okay, I think what Feyenoord are trying to do is just wait for the moment that they make a mistake, catch someone miss a ball in the midfield, and just send it up to Igor Paixão or someone in the middle, or even up top. And I thought they were kind of doing it well until Lautaro Martinez got the goal. It was actually both strikers for Milan to get the 2 goals, with Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez.
Well, Marcos Thuram to me looked dangerous from the whole match. Right, he looked like he had his eyes on goal the whole match and trying to take shots. They took the lead in the first half. Inter Milan, so they went into the halftime up 1-0, and then early on in the second half, Martinez adding to that lead. I don't know. I didn't see Feyenoord that dangerous, to be honest. And I don't know. Do you think they have the opportunity, or they'll have a chance to make a comeback?
Nah, I mean, the way they won against Milan was they beat them at home. Now they're going to play away, and even though they won at Milan's home, I think AC Milan were just more dangerous playing at home than Feyenoord were playing away. So yeah, I don't think personally the scoreline seems close, but I think the way that they play football, and again Inter Milan playing home, I just don't see any chance of Feyenoord making it out. And I think this is actually one of the games where they really needed Santi, because I think at some of the moments in the first half when they actually had time on the ball or in their box, a lot of the times they were just misplaced shots. Either the goalie saved it, or it was an easy save, or they just blasted out the field. I think this is one of the games where Santi should have been here, and I think he could have made a difference. But yeah, as this game, I think it's done. I think just like that Arsenal PSV game, I think it's just too much star power from the opposing team to really make a difference. So I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, no, I think you make a great point of about Santi Jimenez, right? Being a big absence to this Feyenoord team. Almost like he should have finished the league with them. This campaign, I should say. It's just the decisions that are made, right? It's like business decisions. That AC Milan's a higher profile team, but they're struggling, and he could have used the experience in this, in these Champions League matches. It's just kind of odd,
Yeah, I kind of don't believe in moving away to a new team mid season, because now you got to get into the rhythm quick to a new team, especially AC Milan, who want to compete for anything, Yeah.
Moving on to the next game of the Champions League, it saw the number one in the two teams from Germany, currently number one and number two in the Bundesliga, the German top division. Talking about Bayern Munich playing or hosting Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern Munich with 3 0 victory over Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen still competitive. I don't know if they'll be able to compete back into this match. They will be playing at home in the next leg,
Yeah.
but it's they got cooked.
Yeah, dude, they got cooked, man. I just thought this was one of the most like important matches for Bayern Munich. I think the past 10 years, Bayern Munich have been a ruthless team who just fucking kill you by like 4 or 5, 6 goals. And I think any team that plays against Bayern Munich, especially at home, are always scared and worried. It's hard to win in the Allianz Arena. But yeah, I mean, finally after I think like 6 games playing against Leverkusen, they finally get a win over them and a special win in the Champions League night. I thought just Leverkusen weren't really mentally in the game. I saw Wirtz and Frimpong like arguing with each other in the bench. I think pretty much at the end of the game, and then obviously a red card for Leverkusen. So
Yep.
I just don't see Leverkusen in this game, and I don't know if they will be in the next game. I mean, they're going at home, losing 3-0. But to speak about Bayern Munich, I think they had a very very convincing match against Leverkusen to win like that. I thought Jamal Musiala was on fire as always. And yeah, I mean, I really didn't see too much of the game. I did see Musiala do a crazy little flick over. I think it was like Ngapi or Hermoso. He did a crazy like flick over him, sent it to Palinha, but unluckily he hit the crossbar. So it would have been, I think, one of the best assists this season, or at least in the competition of the Champions League. But unlucky for him not to get that assist. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good game for Bayern Munich. I think Neuer actually is out of the game. I think he got injured after the game or celebrating a goal. So they're probably gonna have to put in their backup keeper. But,
Celebrating a goal.
Yeah. But I mean,
I've seen a couple of those to like they get hurt.
Yeah, they get like a cramp or something. Yeah. Like I'm out of the game. But yeah.
For Bayern Munich, the Canadian Alphonso Davies, a starter, permanent starter for them. One of the stars for Bayern Munich, the Canadian player. Moving on to the next match, Benfica hosting FC Barcelona, the Spanish team, the current number 1 team in Spain in La Liga, taking the victory 1-0 over this Benfica side in Lisbon at the Dragao Stadium, a beautiful stadium for football. 1-0 win. Rafinha with a clinical strike, taking advantage of an error by a defender from Benfica. I think it goes to show that you at this level you can't make a mistake because these teams will punish you as they should. And it happened to Benfica.
Yeah, I think this whole week of just the past, Wednesday and Tuesday, I think this whole week really revolves around referees and their decisions and calls. Because I think a lot of these matches that were taking place this weekend or this week, a lot of them could have been affected by referees. I mean, you have obviously this game with Pau Cuarsi getting a red card
early on,
and I think that kind of worried us going into the game. Obviously last season that literally happened to us against PSG. We were going into a game with very much confidence, with our heads high, and then a red card from Araujo against PSG that pretty much killed the game. And I thought that this was gonna happen as well. I thought, okay, it's gonna be the same thing that happened last season. Barcelona always seem to be high, and then one little mistake happens to us, and then it's over, But luckily, Barcelona had that mentality of keep pushing, keep going. And yeah, I mean, like you said, Rafinha got a very clinical finish. I thought both mistakes were from Antonio Silva, who gave the ball to Rafinha, and then Trubin, their goalkeeper. I thought he could have made a better dive, or he could have went for it. I think he was actually pretty far from the goalpost. So he was unlucky to be there, but I think as a goalkeeper, you gotta have instincts to just be close to the net. Anything can fucking happen.
Yeah.
Especially since the last time we had faced them, he literally kicked the ball to Rafinha and it went back in the net. So I think you gotta learn something from there. You gotta be ready for fucking anything that happens.
Yeah. To me, I was surprised he didn't take more steps before his dive. He just like dove from practically where he was at.
Yeah,
You know?
and you're not gonna make a save like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Can't
thought,
move your feet.
yeah. I thought Pedri had an amazing game. He actually won man of the match, even though not scoring a goal. But dude, he was fucking everywhere. He was everywhere on the field, fighting for the ball. He's not really a player to be really too defensive. But I think he really stepped up this game, especially with Dani Olmo subbing out for Ronald Araujo. He pretty much was everywhere, and I thought he was very important for our victory. I think as well, going back to like the referee calls, one of the Benfica's midfielders, I think in my opinion, should have received the red. They also stomped on Inigo Martinez, who was furious, and he actually got a yellow card for slamming his shin pad on the floor, which is, I think, it's stupid in the sense of, I don't know why he has to do that. It is upsetting that that other player didn't get the red card. But you got to calm down. We already lost a defender in Guadalajara City. We can't lose you too. Now we're going to be down, more players. But yeah, it isn't really a convincing Barcelona win, but I think it gives us that fresh breath of air of like, okay, we were down a man for almost the entire game, but we still got to win.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much of a convincing win, but I think defensively we were solid. I think Szczesny had one of his better games for Barcelona. He actually
Good point.
Up.
Yeah, good point. Crucial in a couple of saves there that kept Barcelona in it, and just using his experience as a goalkeeper, not leaving rebounds in some cases, and good for Szczesny, good for Barcelona. Like you mentioned, it's not a dominant performance, but they definitely have a lot of positives to bring out of this match, and they have the lead going into the next round, which will be in Barcelona on Tuesday, March 11th, so next week. Going into the last match of this round of 16 week, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain hosting Liverpool in the city of Paris. Another beautiful atmosphere to be in, nephew. Man, Paris, just an amazing city. You need to get out there. Liverpool taking the victory 1-0 near the end of the match. A substitute Harvey Elliott coming on for Mo Salah, and then with his first touch practically of the match in the 87th minute takes the victory. A good setup play from the Uruguayan Darwin Nunez with the unselfishly giving the ball to the free man in Harvey Elliott, and just Harvey Elliott doing his job. It wasn't all Liverpool though. PSG is a great team, and they showed it on the night. But the goalkeeper, the Brazilian goalkeeper, Alisson, with just a man of the match performance. I don't know if he got that man of the match, but definitely warranted with a lot of great saves. Crucial. PSG coming on strong, in both halves, and making them work.
Yeah, I mean, we got another clap for Alisson, bro, dude. I mean, when you have players like Dembele, who was on form, Kivishka, who we know was quality player.
Yes, he looked good too.
Yeah, he looked good. He scored a goal, but it was called offside by like an inch or so, which is unlucky for PSG. And then you have Barcola, who's as much as dangerous as both of the players, man. But you have a crazy front three who could not get past Alisson, man. He was just incredible. He was immense. Hearing a lot of like Ballon d'Or shouts after this now. It's going to be tough. I mean, I would say he has a case if he puts in more performances like this leading into, the Premier League win, maybe a Champions League win. I mean, I think
you got to lift the trophies too, honestly.
You got to win the trophies to have a really good season. I mean, dude, I thought PSG were so deadly. I think it was just, I think the battle of the midfield between those two teams were going to be deciding who was going to control the team, and I think it was PSG who came out on top. Amazing player with Joao Neves, amazing tactical player with Vitinha. I don't know if Fabian Ruiz was starting or not, but that midfield, that midfield three is one of the you're never gonna take away that ball from them, and they did well. It just was unlucky that you had to play against Alisson. Dude, the save that he was making, he was on it. He was on fire. I thought Mo Salah was one of the most quiet performances he had. I think he got locked down by Nuno Mendes the whole game. Amazing performance by the young left back. So yeah, I mean to keep one of the, if not the best player in the world, shut out for the entire game, it's not something easy to do, and especially for the age difference. I think Nuno was like 22, 23, and Salah's an experienced veteran at like 32. So yeah, also another shout out to Nuno Mendes for putting in a pretty good performance. So yeah,
awesome, well put. Predictions, I guess, for this one for the second leg. It's gonna be very tough for PSG to go to Liverpool, to Anfield, and try and pry this victory away from Liverpool because, I mean, it's gonna be talk about atmosphere. Talk about atmosphere. Just imagine as they walk out to You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah.
With the current team that Liverpool is, right, where they're just probably the best team in the world currently, and just the expectations that are going to be placed on them. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be again difficult for PSG to I don't know, come away with a win. And I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I mean, they showed that they have the ability to. It's just they're finishing, and it depends on how good Alisson is on that night. I mean,
how good they are, how clinical they are.
How good and clinical they are. I mean, they're doing this without a 9. I think all the forwards in that team are wingers. You have Barcola and Kivisha who are wingers, Dembele, and then you also have, I forgot to mention, Desiree Doué. I believe he's only like 18 or 19. He's a fucking baller. Wow. I think he almost had a good finish on Alisson as well. But I mean, you have players who are wingers who aren't really a 9, who aren't going to be scoring 30 goals or even 25 goals a season. But you have those players have the ability to have a moment. This isn't, I wouldn't say it's impossible. Obviously, Anfield are known to just never lose a game at all. They've had that history for a very, very long time. I think the last time Liverpool lost a home game in the Champions League was in 2021. Or 2020. Wow. I think it was a year after they won the Champions League in 2018 or 19. They lost to an Atletico Madrid side who are very defensive, but they caught them in mistakes. Wow. So I think that's what PSG should look for.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. That's a very, very long time ago. But yeah, I think PSG shouldn't be too nervous. But they have to step up. Really, they have to step up more than what they did at the Parc des Princes. So that's going to be asking a lot. But I think if PSG can hold it down on the defense and play like they were playing at home, I don't want to say it, but I think they could come out with a surprising win in Anfield. But again, Liverpool got to play at home. That's like the fucking that's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah. I just see if Liverpool come out on a good night, then I don't think that PSG will be able to stop them. To be honest, but it's gonna be a great matchup. That's for sure. Highly recommend watching this one. The second leg, it is wide. It is open. It's nothing's in. Where we can say Liverpool's. The for sure team to go up front. Just to highlight the South American players in these matchups, right? Some Brazilian players, like always, right? We got Marquinhos playing for PSG, and then for Liverpool, probably the best team in the world. You've got the Argentinian McAllister, a definite starter. The Colombian Luis Diaz. You've got Darwin Nunez, another Uruguayan in world football. Just wanted to highlight those guys. Great job by them holding down, a very tough spot in these teams, and doing it well and producing. So that pretty much wraps up the week for Champions League. There were there's another competition in Europe known as the Europa League. So we'll show the scores for that week. There's really there's some key matchups that we could talk about, right? Like for example, Real Sociedad hosting Manchester United with a 1-1 tie in that game. A surprising result by AZ Alkmaar, the team from Holland, beating Tottenham Hotspurs, one of the better teams in England. And then probably the key matchup of this round of in Europa League, Roma, the team from Rome, obviously
Yeah.
in Italy, taking a victory at home over Athletic Club of Bilbao with a 2-1 victory over them. Nephew, Athletic Bilbao, one of the best teams in Spain.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that result, that match?
Yeah, I think it's pretty surprising, given that I think Roma have been one of the weirdest teams this season. They started the season with I think Daniel De Rossi being their manager, and he got fired like 5 weeks into his
Daniele De Rossi.
yeah, he got fired like 5 weeks into his managerial spot, and then they get a new coach. So it's definitely a weird situation over there. But I mean, you got players like Dybala who are going to perform, and yeah, I mean it's a surprising, I would say, win for Roma, because I feel like Bilbao have been one of the teams that kind of show out, especially last season. But I think this season they kind of fallen off a cliff. Especially with Nico Williams not really performing as to his standards that we've seen before. I mean, I think the last time he got a goal was in that 7-1 win they had in like 2 weeks ago in La Liga. But other than that, he hasn't really been that player that we have seen him, been the last couple years. So it's worrying.
Especially with the Spanish team.
Yeah, especially with the Spanish and winning the nation, or was it the Euros, and having a pretty good tournament that season, or that tournament. But yeah, I don't know. I can see. I think I could see Bilbao turning this result around.
Yeah, it's definitely wide open. Yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely wide open. Roma playing at home gave him that extra strength, that extra push.
Yeah.
To take a lead, I guess. But I think Bilbao did. They were able to score, so it's wide open. And then just as Andres highlighted, Paulo Dybala, another Argentinian in these leagues, and it is a very experienced player, but now at the Roma side, the Argentinian. That's going to wrap up this episode. Again, just covering the midweek action in Europe. So we'll be back again this weekend, recapping the leagues in Europe, correct? And then we'll have another episode dedicated to the Americas, where again we did work on recording our first edition of the Americas show last week, but just technical difficulties didn't allow us to post it, and it's a shame, because we were really proud of that video and everything that we brought, or everything that we recorded and we talked about. The MLS is kicking off. Liga MX continues to be very fascinating. And then we also dived into the Argentinian League, the Argentinian First Division, and the Campeonato Paulista down in Brazil, in the state of Sao Paulo. So again, a lot of good matchups coming this weekend in both Europe and Latin America. So we're very excited to bring you guys more action, more of our thoughts, and hope to have you guys with us. And feel free to chime in. Obviously, we want that engagement. We want the comments. We want to talk trash. I don't really mind. And then just give us feedback on the episodes, on the editing. Andrew's doing a great job. He's learning how to put out better quality content every time. And again, just proud of everything that you're doing, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah. With that, we'll say good night, everyone, and thanks again for watching.
Bye-bye.